Alphabet knowledge. The fourth science-based reading research skill is alphabet knowledge. Alphabet knowledge involves being able to identify and name the letters in the alphabet out of ABC order. Order is really important because many children memorize the song of the ABC song, and they can sing the song, but there's no meaning or ability to identify the letters of the alphabet behind the song. Children need to be able to identify individual letters in isolation. There are two basic alphabet skills: alphabet identification and alphabet naming. Alphabet identification involves the teacher saying the name of a letter and having a child find an example of that letter. So if I ask the child to show me the letter G, he or she may look up on the letters in the wall of my classroom and go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and be able to show me that that is the letter G. Alphabet naming has the teacher point to a letter and ask the child to name it. Naming is a production skill and tends to be a little more difficult than identification. So if I point to the letter A and ask the child, what letter is that? It will be a little more difficult than the identification. As was the case with phonological awareness, science-based reading research has shown that alphabet knowledge is a strong predictor of reading achievement in the elementary grades. Research has also shown us that there's a wide variation in children's alphabet knowledge. Some children know as many as 10 letters by the time they are 3 years old. Others still cannot recognize a single letter by the time they're 5. Of course, teaching alphabet knowledge needs to be a top priority when working with this latter group of children. Science-based reading research has also shown us that there are several different ways to increase children's alphabet knowledge. Some of these include age-appropriate, direct instruction, games, and other interactive activities. An important instructional decision involves which letters to teach and the order in which to teach those letters. We recommend that the teacher use a two-pronged approach. First, teachers should individualize instruction by teaching each child the letters that are most meaningful to them. This would involve the letters in their own names, the letters in their classmates' names, and highly meaningful environmental print. It is also important that the alphabet be taught systematically. This ensures that all children have opportunities to learn all the letters in the alphabet. Some teachers use a letter of the week strategy to accomplish this. In the ACE project that Dr. Christie led, they taught a letter each week that went along with the ongoing thematic unit. For example, when they were teaching the transportation unit, they emphasized the letter T because there were so many T words in the books and activities that were in that unit. That ensured that the children had many opportunities to encounter that target letter. This slide is from the State of Arizona Early Learning Standards, and I wanted to share it with you because it provides an outline of how phonological awareness progresses and what kind of alphabet knowledge expectations we have for young children. Now we're going to look at some instructional strategies for teaching alphabet knowledge. The traditional alphabet song is a good starting point for children to begin learning the letters of the alphabet, but it's only an introduction because the letters are grouped together in clusters. So many children think LMNOP is one word rather than a group of letters. But it is enjoyable. Parents and other people are excited when children can sing their ABCs, and you can start having them point to the letters as they are singing the song, so they begin to develop some of that sound symbol correspondence. This is an alphabet freeze, F-R-I-E-Z-E, and I think every early childhood has an alphabet freeze displayed. The letters of the alphabet are in ABC order, and usually at preschool, there's an uppercase and a lowercase of each letter, along with a picture and a word that help children begin to associate the letter with its sound. One thing that's really important is that the alphabet freeze be displayed at a level that young children can see it. If we have it up high, often they don't use it to its full advantage. Also, children should have individual copies of the alphabet freeze in their writing folders and smaller copies at your writing center. There are a number of manipulative materials that help children learn the alphabet. There's my age-old favorite, those magnetic letters that they stick on the fridge. There's felt letters now, there's alphabet puzzles, there's magnadoodles, dry erase boards, all kinds of manipulatives that you can use to help children identify letters of the alphabet. Please remember to attach the name and the meaning and the sound to those letters, so they're not just playing with stuff, they're attaching that meaning behind the shape and the sound of each letter. Here's an example of Emily, who was 4 years old in this picture, and she used magnetic letters to spell her name. Old cookie sheets are great resources to use in your classroom so that your magnetic letters have a home. We want to talk a lot about alphabet word walls. Word walls are an invaluable instructional tool. And simply what a word wall is an ABC freeze, in that all the letters of the alphabet are displayed in order, and then the children and the teacher place key words that begin with that letter under each of the letters. So in an early childhood classroom, the first word wall should be made up of the children's names. They're highly interested in that, it's highly meaningful, it's highly purposeful, so your first word wall should be that of the children's names. Other ways that you can use the word wall early in the year are to have children bring in examples of environmental print. So if they were having Cheerios for breakfast, it would be under the letter C. And if they went to McDonald's for lunch, they may bring back a wrapper with the letter M on it. Environmental print word walls are very exciting for children because they can read the word wall. You may want to go to color words, red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. That's another way to use a word wall early in the year. Your number words, and eventually it'll get to the point that your high frequency words and your vocabulary words become part of your early childhood word wall. Here's an example of a word wall from the ACE Early Reading First Project. This is from San Luis Preschool, and you'll notice that this teacher has put the children's name and key theme-related words under the corresponding letter. And we also have little Chardonnay here putting her name up under the letter C. Alphabet books are an amazing genre in children's literature. Incredible, enjoyable opportunities for children to learn to recognize letters and the sounds that those letters represent. There are literally thousands of ABC books. Some of them are very appropriate for very young children, and some of them are used in primary grades. They're often used more for a way of organization, so it's like taking your word wall and putting it into a book, publishing it into a book. Here we have an alphabet book that has a number of words on each page that start with a target letter. So here we have A for apples, alligators, and alphabets. And this type of book is very useful for children to help them learn both the names of the letters and the concept of alliteration. They can add their own to it as well. Alphabet posters are simply posters that contain a number of words that begin with the same sound and the same letter. And these posters also are invaluable tools for teaching letter alliteration and letter recognition. Here is an example of an alphabet poster from the ACE project. Teachers used this chart 2 times. Initially, just with the pictures to help children learn vocabulary and to become aware of alliteration and to learn to recognize that all the objects on this poster begin with the sound S. Then about a week later, the teacher introduced the Post-it notes and helped the children learn that the letter S represented the S sound in all of these words. Here are some other letter posters from the ACE project. Notice how this teacher has highlighted the initial consonant in each word. Also note that each word is printed with a lowercase letter. We only use uppercase letters for the beginning of a sentence or for words that are capitalized all the time. There are a myriad of games that provide enjoyable and repeated exposure to letters and letter names. This gives a social context to the learning that young children enjoy, and it gives them opportunity to practice those skills in ways that are very engaging. Finally, new technologies such as Leapfrog and iPads and computer games provide a rich avenue for fun and enjoyable alphabet practice, and that's highly motivating for young children. Here you see a little girl in the ACE project using the Fisher-Price Power Catch system. She's reading a story about Dora the Explorer, and the Power Touch system has several different modes. In one mode, the child can touch a picture and the device will say the name of the picture, so they're developing vocabulary. The child can also touch the words and the device will read the word, so they're creating that sound symbol correspondence. And in the alphabet mode, they can touch individual letters and the device will say the individual letter names, so they're learning spelling and how those letter sounds blend together to make words.